Welcome to the Business Bear Podcast, Garrett County Business Development's local business marketing podcast, hosted by me, local radio personality and the voice of Garrett County, Connor Norman. Why Business Bear? Well, not only are black bears famous in our community, but the acronym actually stands for something. It stands for Business Expansion Assistance and Retention Podcast. So on this show, we sit down and spend 15 to 30 minutes talking with our local business owners, state partners, and economic development professionals in Garrett County. It's our hope that you learn a lot, and we'll try to have some fun while we're at it. So stay tuned and buckle up. Let's get this show on the road.
Hey y'all, it's Lainey Wilson, and I just wanted to invite y'all out for some good farming fun in this year's Country Music Corn Maze, featuring yours truly. So get ready for a whirlwind of fun and come on out to the farm and get a little lost in the maze with your friends and your family.
We're a whirlwind, cut through a Texas town. Yeah, this funnel wouldn't really respond.
Business development. We're going to shoot right into this episode by talking to our friends, Jay and Tabbi Hott. Guys, how are you doing today?
Man, we are fantastic.
Doing well. Thanks for inviting us.
It is so good to have you guys in here. I have been excited for several reasons. First, we're going to be talking about Alpaca Acres today, which is a community staple. So excited to be talking about that and kind of going over the details. We want to learn all about the alpacas. We're going to be talking about their names. We're going to be talking about all their fun tricks. I want the behind the scenes stuff. We'll get to that. And then we're also going to be talking about Prime Vacations, which is a fantastic property management organization that has come about in Garrett County here recently. We are excited to have you guys up and operating in our community, and I think you've got some fantastic stuff you're going to talk about today. So before I get into it, I want to learn a little bit about the people behind the microphones. Jay, Tabbi, tell me a little bit about yourselves and why you chose Garrett County.
Well, it all started back in 2000 when Tabbi and we got married. So this will be our 25th anniversary. We honeymooned at the Wisp, fell in love with the place everywhere. Just like one of these days we'll move back here. And a few years ago, I say a few years ago, now it's 8 years ago, we got an opportunity to move back, and bam, here we are. And bought the farm, started Alpacas, just progresses into everything that we're doing. And you just cannot beat Garrett County. It is just a phenomenal place to live.
I think it's incredible how many people's origin stories start with that first visit. You come to Garrett County, and whether it's magic, whether it's perfect happenstance, coincidence, whatever you want to call it, it captures people's imagination. It captures you just fall in love with it instantly. And it's a place you want to be. And I'm so glad that you guys have come to our community, and you started right away with a very interesting business. What brought you guys? Tell me first, why alpacas? Like, did it start as a vision?
Okay, so even though Jay's a hunter and we do, we have deer meat, I could not think about having an animal be born on the farm, give it a name, take care of it every day, and then send it off to slaughter. I just couldn't do it. So we did some research, and just alpacas fit us. They're perfect.
Wow.
And
They're just unique. Not a lot of people have alpacas or have heard of alpacas. They are a very gorgeous animal.
we did a lot of research, and we ended up going to an event called National Alpaca Days.
Okay.
And at another alpaca farm. And we didn't intend on having alpacas that day when we left, but we left owning our first three.
Oh, wow.
I mean, as soon as I seen them, I knew. And I just fell in love with them.
So we bought 3. We come back.
We had to ask them to keep them. We paid for them, but we asked them to keep them because we didn't have any fencing.
We didn't have any fencing. So when we bought the farm, it's kind of run down a little bit, and then we had to fix things up. And, we didn't have fence, and we didn't have quite the shelter that we needed for them. And we were still new at all this stuff. So they kept them for like a month and a half. And here we go. We're going out to Tractor Supply. We're buying fence and post and all this stuff. We're like, oh my gosh, what did we get into?
But they're so addicting. You cannot have just 3, So we breed,
so
to
then
grow our herd.
That following winter, we bought 3 girls so we could breed. And then the magic just starts happening. I mean, next thing you know, you got babies running around and alpacas are screaming and yelling and humming, and we're like, what did we get into? And I mean, but
It's great.
they're just a pleasure. They very good farm animal to have.
Really?
They're
Yeah.
gentle on the land. They don't have a hoof like other farm animals, so they just have a
Really?
soft padded foot. So gentle on the land.
No top
And-
teeth,
right?
so they don't
They
pull
don't-
the roots of the grass out so it can regenerate. So I mean, it's really good for the environment.
That's incredible. And that's the best thing about the Business Bear podcast. You are learning. I am learning about this stuff right now. I had no idea they didn't have hooves or top teeth.
And their poo is great for gardens. It's
Okay.
like the best.
Yeah, so they all go to the bathroom in the same spot. So each field has their spot that they go to the bathroom in. So it's easy. So when we clean up or whatnot,
Makes it a little easier.
we do sell the poo to gardeners and people like that. We use it on our own garden, and I'm telling you, tomatoes, top notch.
There we go.
But
Alpaca fertilizer.
there you go.
And then the fiber, obviously, is compared to cashmere. So we shear them once a year, mainly to prevent heat exhaustion. We do it just before summer. But then you can send the fiber off to the fiber mill to become yarn, which we sell in our farm store, or the other products that you wear, like scarves.
We send most of it to the co-op, and then we send it out to them, and then they send us stuff back that's made out of not only ours but other alpacas.
Yeah.
So we kind of keep all that in, and then the co-op, they're an organization that helps communities that they're in and our communities and stuff. So I mean, it's a good fit for us.
That is so cool, though, being able to go to your farm and grab something off the shelf and just be like, where was this made? Because I think that's something important people are paying attention to, right? They want to know where the products that make what they're wearing, what they're eating, they want to know where that's coming from. And you'll be able to point out in the field and say, that's where your shirt came from.
Yep.
Right over there.
So our yarn actually is labeled with
Who it
whoever
come
the
from.
alpaca is from. So
Oh,
if you
nice.
want to come buy like a skein of black yarn, it'll probably say Sunshine's yarn, and then you can go and meet Sunshine.
And you can meet Sunshine where your yarn came from.
Yeah.
See, you guys are awesome. Now, I imagine these alpacas, they have some great personalities. We've heard about it before. Is that true?
They do. They're just like people. They each have their own personality. Some of them are shy. Not many. Really just Charlie. But, they're just like people. They each have their own personality.
So
Wow,
when
that
we
is
do
so
our tour and everybody comes in and they meet in the store and we go down and we introduce all the alpacas, all their names, and everybody gets to see them. They get to feed them, and they'll all start seeing their personalities and how they all interact with each other and stuff like that. It's really special, especially with the little kids. They come down and they see them and they're smiling and they're giggling and they're just having a great time. And then when they come back up through the store, we sell little stuffies that are black and white and brown and stuff. And then
Yeah.
they pick them out and say, hey, this is Charlie, or this is Bruno, or this is Bobo. So I'm getting a little Stevie to take home, so they have all those memories when they leave the farm with their stuffed animals, and they name them before they leave, who they met and who
And
they liked.
it seems like they each have a fan club too. It's like
Yeah.
I'm Team Al, or because if they come a year where we have a cria born, which is a baby alpaca,
Mm-hmm.
it seems like people tend to attach themselves to that alpaca, and then they come back every year to see how
Yeah.
much
See
they
how
grow.
are they doing?
Yeah.
Yeah, so I mean, it's pretty special, especially the kids. We have kids that are babies, and then next thing you know, they're 3 and 4 years old, and they're like, hey, this is Sunshine. We remember when she was a baby, and now they're seeing her again, and they get their pictures taken with
Every
them, and
year, yeah.
so it's pretty
It's
awesome.
fun for us to watch the children come and each year
Yeah.
and see how much they've grown. They're coming to see how much the alpacas have grown, and we like seeing how much there's.
Nice. See, that's a future business opportunity. What you're gonna do is Alpaca Acres Plus, live cams. You can watch them every day. So it's okay. I'll only take 1%. It's fine. But no, that's so cool. Let's hail back to those early days. What made you guys think, man, we could create an experience out of this? Tell me what that thought process was like.
So when COVID hit, this is when everything went crazy.
Yeah.
Okay.
Everybody knows that. We bought the farm in 2019. COVID hit, and as we were coming to the lake for 20 years, we're like, people were starving for something different, something more than the go-karts and things like that.
Yeah.
And then COVID really hit and magnified that to
Yeah.
we want to be outside.
Yeah.
So
We
we're like,
started with just
let's-
the alpaca
yeah.
visits the first year.
why not?
then
Let's open it up. See what we can get.
Yeah, we added slowly every year. We try to add a few more attractions.
But that's where it started, and then we just got such a great response that, and if you've never been to the farm, it is just an absolute gorgeous piece of property. I mean, I say I have the best property in Garrett County. Some people may differ with that. But, you come down the lane, you come through the woods, you come out of the woods and it opens up and you have the farm store. And then once you get into the farm store and you walk out back, you go up on top of the hill, you can see all of West Virginia, Alpine Lake. I mean, it doesn't even look real. I mean, it's just phenomenal.
Yeah, it's picturesque.
Yep. So when people come out, they come for that. They come for the alpacas, and then we build a porch on the back of the farm store where the parents can sit in the rockers and watch the kids play. I mean, you just can't beat it.
It's an experience for the mind, the body, and the soul.
There you go.
Going out to Alpaca Farms, I believe it. All right, so now we're going to talk about when you guys are opening for the season. I understand you have kind of a limited window that you guys are opening because, winter is what it is, and then summer season gets pretty wild. So tell the people when you guys are opening your doors this season.
So we just closed for our summer season. We're opening our Fall Fest, annual Fall Fest, September 19th
Okay.
through October 12th this year.
Yep. Depending on weather,
Yeah.
We would love to be open towards the end of October, but depends on the weather
Anytime
here.
after Autumn Glory Weekend is always
It's
a
up in the air.
bonus because you never know.
Yeah, definitely. Understand that. So we've got a beautiful, obviously, location for the fall time. People come out in droves, and I think we've kind of talked about this a little bit, but variety is the spice of life. You want to see something out of the ordinary. People want to come down and have an experience like what they can find at Alpaca Acres. Obviously, they're going to come out to see the alpacas and connect with them. Great shop experience, great outdoors experience. But I understand there's a little extra fun element that you guys have this year, and I am excited. I'm chomping at the bit to learn about it, to tell people about it. I know what it is, but let me hear it from you guys.
The Fall Fest this year, well, every year our corn maze has a different theme, but this year our corn maze theme is Lainey Wilson.
Okay.
We partnered with her and her team to be the theme for this year's maze.
Super famous.
And on top of that, she's given away some prizes for us to give away.
No way.
She has given us top prize is a trip for two to her show in December in Las Vegas.
So you're going to get lodging,
includes airfare,
lodging.
hotel room, and a meet and greet, and tickets to see
Yep.
her
No
show.
way.
So that's the top prize.
and then the next prize is an autographed album, the new album, Whirlwind Deluxe, and then the third prize is you can take home our Lainey Wilson photo op.
That is so cool.
So we'll have the photo op where everybody can take their photos with her, and then we'll have the album there so everybody can see it and they can enter to win that. So it pictures her in the corn maze, and it says Alpaca Acres loves Lainey. So you go through the corn maze, and it's pretty cool. She's done some commercials for us. Inviting everybody out to Alpaca Acres and stuff. So I think it's going to be a great a great fall for us.
No way. This is so cool. This is an awesome thing that you don't get an opportunity like this. You know, an opportunity to meet Lainey Wilson, but an opportunity to go to the Alpaca Acres corn maze. Basically, they solve it, and what's the process for entering to win the prizes?
So when they come into the store, we'll have a QR code that they can scan, and they can enter into that right then and there. And then, of course, they can go out and do all the fun stuff that we have, you know, not just the corn maze, but
Yeah.
And speaking of QR codes, our corn mazes, we don't use paper maps.
Okay.
So we have a QR code that you scan and you can choose, do you want to take the easy way, which is, you know, you just scan the QR code and you follow the map on your phone. Or do you want it to be a little more challenging? You can have the maze paths covered with a layer of fog, and then as you walk, the fog releases. So it's a little
Oh, how
more
cool is
challenging.
that?
Yeah.
I can tell you that I got lost already. So
And this is coming from the guy that helped make it.
we made it, yeah. So I went in and we were going around, and I'm like, where am I going? And then I ended up having to walk the whole thing because I couldn't figure out how to get out. So
Oh no.
yeah, so it's you walk it. You know, now we walk it 3 or 4 times to clean paths and make sure it's all good to go.
Yeah.
And I will say, this year's corn is about 10 foot tall, so you're not seeing over and seeing where you're going. You're actually
Yeah, so
gotta
it's a
go
challenge.
through this thing. Yeah, so it's pretty good. But yeah, so
How do you guys come up with these corn mazes? Like from an aerial view, you go, okay, this is a maze, but you guys have to make it.
So we're in a partnership or an organization called the Maze. You know, they help us, or they come up with some stuff, and then we have different things that we can pick and choose from.
Okay.
So they create and design it, and then we cut it, basically. But you'll see how, if you look at it, the aerial and all that stuff, you see how precise each corner is and how the rows are, and it really looks professional and things like that. So it's pretty cool stuff.
That's awesome. I mean, I've gone to a couple corn mazes in my time. I'm always the kid that gets lost and has to make his way out like in a straight line, and it's just terrible. How many people do you find lost in there?
Well, we tell everybody we don't look for anybody until Tuesday. So if you're lost in a maze, we'll find you on Tuesday.
Okay.
So that's our running joke.
Luckily, we haven't had anybody get lost.
Good.
We have had some people though just cut out.
Yeah,
unfortunately.
if you're up on top and you're looking at the corn, all of a sudden you'll see people shoot out the side, which is not where you go.
No.
But we'll see people shooting out the sides and stuff like that, and so it is pretty fun. I mean, it really is.
Gotcha.
The kids really like it. We do have a small part in the maze that we do Spookly, the square pumpkin, which is.
We have a partnership with Spookly, the Square Pumpkin, who is the spokes pumpkin for anti-bullying.
Okay.
So a lot of our field trips.
A lot of
like
our
to
field
come
trips,
and
and,
walk the Spookly Trail.
The Spookly Trail, and they have to read each of the signs and go around or whatever. And the reason we did that is we had short story of how that happened was we had a young alpaca was in with the bigger alpacas, and they picked on him and really bullied him, really. So we had to separate them. But then that's where we're like, hey man, we should get into this other thing.
Yeah.
Segued into the Spookly thing. So that kind of all works together.
How cool. What a great lesson for the kids, and what a great way to tie in, to that anti-bullying culture. That's just so great. And in a fun format in which to do it.
Right.
Again, I would probably get lost, but I'm going to come down, I'm going to be looking for the Spookly. I'm going to try to learn and make my way through the maze, because if I don't, I'll probably get lost. Full disclosure. But yeah, you guys have got me in the...
Tuesday.
Yeah, you'll find me on Tuesday. Which sometimes how these work weeks go.
Yeah, it might be all right.
Forget about me till Tuesday. That's fine.
So that goes into the next thing where Tabby, last year she had breast cancer, and she went through all that, cured, cancer-free since November. Well, out in her
Congratulations.
downtime, she wrote a book about the alpacas, the Alpaca Way, and it goes into the lessons of each of the alpacas' personalities, what they do on the farm and stuff. So Tabby can tell you a little bit more about that.
Yeah, tell us about that.
Yep, the book is called The Alpaca Way, Little Lessons from Alpaca Acres. And each of our alpacas share a special character trait that helps us all become better selves.
Wow. How phenomenal is that? And you said it's going to be available at the farm store?
It is available at the farm store. Well, it's on its way. It'll be available soon at the farm store.
Okay.
And or on Amazon.
Wow, that's so awesome. So they can go to Amazon to find it. And of course, it'll be available, I'm sure, by opening day on
Yes.
September 20th.
Yeah, we'll have that. Yeah.
How cool is that? That is so awesome. You know, you're able to take Alpaca Acres outside of the farm itself, and it can follow people home. Start teaching people valuable lessons. Is there more happening at Alpaca Acres we need to be looking forward to?
Yeah, so for our fall fest, we do a lot. So we're gonna have, we kind of kept this a little bit of a secret because we wasn't quite sure how things were gonna go, but we will have a pumpkin patch this year. So we won't be able to go into the field because it's in the part of the farm we can't get people to access to.
Okay.
But we were, the weather and it's the first year growing them and different things like that. So we didn't want to quite, tell everybody, but we will have pumpkins available. We'll have a lot of pumpkins available. So with that, when you're coming in the store, we have 15 plus attractions at the farm. So when you get, you'll go out, we have a big 200-foot mountain slide. We have giant slingshots. We have a ball zone. We have a barrel train the kids just love. We get dizzy going around in circles with these kids. We have a big tire climb, jump pad, duck races, bouncy balls. We have a lot. And then on top of that, we make fresh apple cider donuts on the farm.
No way.
Yes. And then so our whole food truck thing is crazy. We started last year with food and it's really taken off, from pulled pork sandwiches to cheeseburgers to bacon cheeseburgers. And then one of our famous things is our apple cider slushy that we make. And then we put a apple cider donut on top of that with whipped cream. I mean, this thing is phenomenal. I will give you a little secret. Last year, we were panicking because we ran out. We had a line out, and I couldn't make it fast enough. And we're like, oh my gosh, what are we going to do? People were getting mad. I'm like, just bear with us. We're making new. So, but yeah, so that stuff is really, really neat.
That is insane. Do you realize if I'd have known about this sooner, you could have named an electric bill after me. I would have been down there so much. So that's incredible. So there's something for everybody to enjoy at Alpaca Acres. And you guys have got this new food element.
Yep.
And the apple cider donuts, you guys have that full harvest experience.
Yep.
These people are just oozing these fall vibes. For anyone that's listening, you have to meet them in person, by the way. Because
it's just a safe place for people to come. Garrett County, everybody loves the fall. I mean, it's just gorgeous here.
Yeah.
Come out to the farm on a Saturday or a Sunday and just relax. Let the kids play. You don't have to worry about watching the kids. You can let them run and do whatever they want to do. And, that's why we built the deck, with the picnic tables and the rocking chairs, so the parents could just relax while their kids go play. And, this day and age, you always want to watch your kids. At Alpaca Acres, you don't have to. It is a safe place to be.
Family-friendly farm.
that is spectacular. So I can see sitting out on the porch. I'm sitting up there with my apple cider shake there. I've got the donut and the whipped cream. The kids sit out there. The kids are having a great time. Family members. That is a great and wholesome experience. And that's why I want to come to Garrett County. You want to feel something like that. For the farm, do you guys sell tickets? Where does somebody go to learn more about how to get down there, how to get involved?
You just go right to our website, alpacaacresmd.com.
Okay,
Buy
perfect.
tickets or just...
So we prefer everybody to buy tickets so we can kind of tom this thing out. So there's a big misconception of, you can't just walk in. Well, you can just walk in. However, to make the experience better for everyone, we have tom tickets. So we sell, we try to do everything on the hour. Okay. So we limit how many people we can bring in per hour so we can make sure that everybody's having an enjoyable time.
Yeah.
And then that way we can staff as well, So, if we're trying to have 5,000 people in an hour, I mean, that's not going to work. So we try to spread that out. And then also parking, we are limited on parking. So we probably have about 400 spots.
Okay.
But when we get busy, it gets a little crazy in there.
Yeah, that can be tight.
So, we try to do the Tom tickets to help out with that.
Certainly.
Customers have actually
Yeah.
requested the timed entry. That's why we started it a couple years ago. So they want to be able to spread out and
Yep.
enjoy the farm
It gets a little.
without too many crowds.
It gets a little.
Oh yeah,
crazy.
yeah. That seems fair and safe way to keep everybody, moving through, having a great time.
And
then
you
just
also
being able to
save.
keep up.
You also save. So if you're, you get your tickets online, you're gonna save
$2.
$2 if you do it.
Okay.
Versus at the gate. So, but yeah,
Awesome.
that's how we do that.
And again, where can they get those tickets?
AlpacaAcresMD.com.
So alpacaacresmd.com starting on September 20th. You need to have your tickets, get on there, and I'm sure they can purchase dates ahead of time.
Yeah, you can go on there now and buy tickets.
Excellent. So you can go on there right now. All right, I need to go on there and I need to get my ticket. I'm going to be down there for this shake. Oh my gosh.
So we are having. So September 20th, we are having a live broadcast with KHJ. Benji and the guys are coming out, which is going to be great. So we can't wait to get there, and they're giving get on KHJ. These guys, I'm telling
Listen
you what,
to WKHJ.
they are
They're
just.
going to give away tickets.
They've been the best partner for us. So they'll be giving away, we're famous for Alpaca Wednesdays on KHJ. So they'll be giving out some Fall Fest tickets starting next week. So everybody can get on that. And if you haven't had a chance to come out, try to win those and come out and see us and enjoy a great fall.
Nice chance to work with KHJ and win some tickets. So be listening to 104.5 WKHJ. You don't want to miss that. And you said Alpaca Wednesdays.
Yes, Alpaca Wednesday. So Benji and them come up with this thing, which is awesome. So if you hear the alpaca hum, then you call in and be caller like number 5, and you can win a 4-pack of tickets to Alpaca Acres. So they have fun with that. So
Absolutely.
it's awesome.
Yes, they do. So give them a listen for a chance to win tickets, or go online and start buying them now. You don't want to miss out on that opportunity. Guys, it's so cool to learn about Alpaca Acres today. I can't wait to get down there myself, take some family members with me, so that we can enjoy, what we have right here in our backyard. It's for locals, it's for visitors. Everybody's welcome to Alpaca Acres. It's going to be a good time, I'm sure. Not to segue out of this, but I really want to talk about Prime Vacations here. Can you tell the people a little bit about the agency? Let's hear about it.
So Prime Vacations come out of demand, really. I worked at the lake for a vacation property management company
Okay.
a few years ago. Wasn't working for me. Just, I've been an entrepreneur my whole life, wanting to. It's hard for me to work for somebody, when I have
Gotcha.
certain things that I want done or whatever. So when I left that, I had a bunch of owners that kept calling me and saying, "Hey, Jay, can you do this for me? Can you do this for me?" And I'm like, well, if I'm going to do this, I might as well start my own company. So that's what we did. And it was really out of demand. And now, we started last August. We signed our first home, and we are now currently at around 35 houses
Incredible.
for our first year. And we are taking homes on out of demand, out of need, out of, they're not satisfied. They want the attention. So my way that I do things is it's the personal touch.
Okay.
All my owners that own these homes have my personal cell number. You need me, you call me, you text me, you email me, you get me. And I've always done that. It's always been that way. So that personal touch. So that's how it all started. And then as we grow and as we get where we're going, we focus on the affordable vacation for everybody.
Yeah.
You don't need to stay here 3 nights. You don't need to stay here 7 nights. Come up for a couple nights. Let's make it affordable for these folks. The more affordable we can make it for everybody, and the more people we get to the county, more reservations we get, the more people come, the more money they spend in the county. I mean, it's just
Absolutely.
tenfold for that.
Well, I think you hit the nail on the head there with affordable vacations and opening our area to access for everyone to come and enjoy.
Yeah.
And affordable is a big key thing here, because again, we want to be able to make sure that the asset that we have out here and the beauty that everyone can come and enjoy is accessible. And it's really cool to have a rental and vacation company that's geared towards that whole crowd, so that you can come and have an affordable and quality experience. And
Yeah, the guest experience, when we get these guests in, they can call us and they're going to get us. It's not going to go to a call center. One thing that, I've been here 20 years. I've seen a lot of things over the 20 years with the rental business and whatnot.
Mhm.
But we are, and I believe, the only local management company in Garrett County. So we're local, we live local, we own local. We're not corporate. We don't have a corporate partner. So it's very important that people understand that, and that we are very heavily invested in the community, not only for that part, but for the guests that come in to see us, that you actually can get a hold of us, and it's just, I don't know, I love it. So
Absolutely. Well, it's one of our prime focuses is supporting local. So we want to make sure that our local businesses are uplifting, thriving, doing well. And it's good to have you guys here kind of offering the services. You've been picked up by 35 different properties.
Yep.
And I imagine you're looking to grow beyond that.
We are growing. We have a lot of irons in the fire. We have a lot of conversations with homeowners, and everybody knows how that goes. They want to talk and they want to think and different things like that. So Tom will tell, but when I say I'm going to do something, I do it. Owners appreciate that. And that's how I grow our business. If I didn't, if I said something and I didn't do it, that's where everybody gets in trouble. That's where everybody starts losing their faith in everything.
Absolutely.
So it's just very key that we have that open, honest relationship with the owner, and it's a partnership. This isn't my way or their way. It's a partnership of the owner and I have to see eye to eye and have a goal of what we want to do and what we want to go forward with.
Mm-hmm.
So if we don't mesh, I don't take the homeowners on, because it doesn't work for anybody. I tell them right up front what we have, what we're going to do. This is how I want to run things, the affordable vacation, so they all come on board. They're like, Jay, I understand. We want to rent our house just as much as you want to rent our house. So let's do what we need to do that.
That's so cool. Yeah. So if anyone were interested in maybe looking at taking you on as a service provider in the future, or if someone's looking to book that next vacation, where can they go to learn more?
PrimeVacationsDCL.com. So that gets us into our website, and then you'll see the list of our homes. There's a question and answer. There's a form there you can put in to contact us. It's great.
So I would just want to remind our listeners 2 important websites. We got PrimeVacationsDCL.com and AlpacaAcresMD.com to book tickets for not only to book your next vacation. They'll take care of you in the housing aspect.
Yep.
You need to come down here. You need to find a place to stay. But they'll also entertain you. They'll take you down to the farm. Yep. That is so fun. And I'm sure you guys have these values instilled to you, and I'm sure the Alpacas have been pivotal in helping keeping these values and keeping everyone straight. I'm sure you said they got big personalities. I'm sure they're helping run the farm themselves.
They do. The Alpacas are just they're phenomenal.
Big Al's the boss.
Big Al. So we have Alpaca, the big Alpaca.
Okay.
But they, the running joke we do have with them is, when we bring everybody down, I'm like, hey, boys and girls, it's time to earn your keep, and they all come running to the, to the fence and meet and greet everybody and get their treats and stuff like that.
That's so cool.
Yeah.
Nice. Well, guys, this has been an incredible experience today. I think we've learned a lot about, Prime Vacations and Alpaca Acres. Really informative. It sounds like we've got a lot to do. I've got a lot to start booking. And people that are listening, you now have, another avenue to consider for your entertainment and your lodging needs. So check them out. Again, that's primevacationsdcl.com and alpacaacresmd.com. And guys, at the end of my show, I kind of open up the microphones to my guests. If you guys want to make any announcements, kind of reiterate what we talked about, I'm going to open up. This is your time. Tell us what you got to say.
For Prom Vacations, if you're looking to switch, we do have a promotion going. You're going to get $2,500 off or credit if you sign with us by the end of October.
Okay.
So that'll help out with, management fees, different things like that. But that's what we have going on. But for Alpaca Acres, Fall Fest is it, baby. Come and get it. I mean, it's the best time of the year.
Nice. Awesome. Starting September 20th.
September 19th, we open at
4 p.m.
4 p.m. It's a Friday. And then our big day is going to be Saturday, September 20th. We'll have the live broadcast. We're going to have a lot of, radio people that we do business with,
Okay.
All the local businesses, the farming FA&E, we do business there, Tractor Supply, people that we do a lot of businesses with. We're inviting everybody out to come and enjoy the farm and experience it for the first time.
Awesome. That is so cool. Well, thank you, Jay. Thank you, Tabby. It's been awesome having you guys in here. Again, that is Jay and Tabby Hott in here to talk about some awesome businesses. It was great to have them in, and thank you all for listening to the Business Bear podcast today, your number one source for what's happening in your business community around Garrett County. Speaking of the Business Bear podcast, if you want to know when future episodes are dropping, be sure to follow us at Garrett County, Maryland, Department of Business Development. It's kind of a mouthful. We'll have to work that down someday. But you can find us on Facebook. You can find us on Instagram. That one's new. You can also find us on X or Twitter, whatever Elon's calling it these days. And we do have a LinkedIn profile. So again, follow us. Be sure to keep up to date on the latest happening in your business community. Folks, it's your best friend Connor Norman here, your business development specialist, and I'll see you all on the other side.